Yeah, Shalom Israel. Yawabasham Yawashai Barakatah to all the brothers. Yawasham Latan Basham Yawashai to all the sisters. Prison Officer Matt Kwayak of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, which started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohanna. We are out here in Trinidad, right? Where we bring these classes to all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. These classes are very important for us to tune into, for us to take in, for us to understand who we are as a people, our culture, our laws, our history, our language. It's important for us to understand as well that this Bible was written only for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. In this Bible, there are laws for us to follow, just like any nation and any society, right? There are laws governing that nation, that society or region. Even in homes, there are laws governing homes as well. You understand? And the Most High give us, His chosen people, laws to follow, laws for us to keep, so that we will be in good order, that we will be in good standing with the Most High. You understand? We have classes out here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday out here in Trinidad. Again, through the I.S.U.P.K, we have classes every day of the week. Right, but again, out here in Trinidad, we have classes on Monday with Officer I.S.U.P.K, that is his history class, right? Every week, as the brothers and them come online during their classes, we will repeat when there's classes, so new brothers or new sisters could understand these classes are every day of the week. So we have classes Monday with Officer I.S.U.P.K, that is history class. Right, Tuesday we have the brotherhood class with Officer I.S.U.P.K with the history. As blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you could come and learn who you are as a people, what happened before we fled into Africa, what happened after we came out of Africa, because everyone in Trinidad here is with the notion that we are Africans, right? And that is not so. So we will know what happened when we came off the slave ships. You'll understand our position here in Trinidad as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, what we need to do to come out of these conditions that we're in as a people. You understand? We understand also too how to gather ourselves together as the scriptures commanded us, right? Gather ourselves together, our nation not desired. You will understand through history that you are the nation that is not desired. You will understand through brotherhood, through the laws, and so forth, right? On Tuesday, we have the brotherhood class with Officer I.S.U.P.K, where you could come and learn more about brotherhood, sisterhood. You understand? I know. Is that fun? Night on, yeah, it on. That's low now. Yeah. Right? On Tuesday, we have the class, the brotherhood class with Officer I.S.U.P.K, where you could come and learn about brotherhood, sisterhood, how to deal with your brother, how to deal with your sisters. Right? On Wednesday, we have the law class with myself, Officer I.S.U.P.K, where you could come and learn about the laws of the Most High. Right? On Friday, we have no classes here in Trinidad on Thursday. On Friday, we have the Lashavan Kodash with Officer I.S.U.P.K. Right? On Saturday, we have the Sabbath service again with Officer I.S.U.P.K, Officer Maikwa. Right? And also on Sunday, we have the scripture breakdown class with our camp leader, Officer Galawan, right? Where you could come and get your scriptures broken down, get your questions answered, right? Also, too, you could contact our camp leader, Officer Galawan, by his cell phone number. His cell phone number is on the I.S.U.P.K Trinidad and Tobago Facebook page, Instagram page also, you understand? Again, subscribe to all I.S.U.P.K channels on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Right? Today we're going to get into a little more about understanding the Most High Holy Days that He laid out for us. Right? We're going to get into the Sabbath day, and once time permits us, we will be able to go into all the other high holy days that the Most High permit unto us. Right? If we don't have enough time, well, of course, next week, please God, we will get into that. We will get into the laws that the Most High laid out for us. We will get into the holidays of the heathens out here in Trinidad, opposed to the Most High high holy days that he laid out for the children of Israel, because as a people, we must understand that if you don't know who we are, you understand, we will be engrafted into every nation. And when I say engrafted, I'm talking about be integrated into every nation on the face of the earth, doing their customs, doing their laws, doing their holidays and stuff like that. But we as a people, as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the Most High gave us high holidays to follow. You understand? And again, if you don't know who we are, we wouldn't understand and know that we have to follow these days. Right? So it is important that we know that. So we will start with the book of, let me go to Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1. We will start with Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1, right? Yes, now, before we go to that, give me Leviticus chapter 23. Start from verse 1, then we'll jump back to Exodus, right? Tawada. Yeah, Officer Shah, you can come up a little closer if you want, right? Yeah. Right, give me Leviticus chapter 23.
Verse 1.
Yeah, take it on verse 1, Tawada.
Book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And the Most High spake unto Moses.
And who?
And the Most High spake unto Moses.
So the Most High spake unto Moses, speaking unto Moses, going to tell Moses to speak to the children of Israel to let them know this. Go ahead.
Speak unto the children of Israel.
Speak unto who?
The children of Israel.
You understand? Speak unto the children of Israel. Now, if we stick up in the Christian church or in the Muslim mosque or in these religion and ideologies, we wouldn't understand who the children of Israel are. You understand? Your pastor don't even know how to start to explain who the children of Israel are. But when you come into the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding Gen.YAHANNA and we go through the scriptures, we actually go into the scriptures, and you will understand that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the children of Israel. Our brothers, as we always say, and sisters coming across from Venezuela, they are a part of the children of Israel. They are your brothers and sisters, right? Go ahead.
And saying unto them, concerning the feast of the Most High.
Concerning what?
The feast of the Most High.
Of who?
Of the Most High.
You understand? So concerning the feast of the Most High. So the Most High tell Moses, speak unto the children of Israel. You understand? Concerning the feast of the Most High. Not man-made traditions, not man-made holidays, not Christmas, not Easter, not Corpus Christi, not what this thing was just going the other day, Eid-ul-Fitr and all these different things. You understand? Concerning the feast of the Most High that you children of Israel are supposed to follow, right? Go ahead.
Which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations.
Which ye shall proclaim to be what?
Holy convocations.
Holy convocations. And of course, in the Christian church, your pastor wouldn't be able to tell you or make you to understand what we mean and the word holy is. You understand? Because you have your singing, dancing, and doing all manner of evil. When holy means separate. You understand? These will be separate convocations. Go ahead.
Even these are my feasts.
Even these are my feasts. Go ahead, read.
6 days shall work be done.
How much days?
6 days shall work be done. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest.
You understand? 6 days should work be done, and the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest. You understand? That is one. And then when you continue going through the book of Leviticus chapter 22, you go understand that the Most High have these feast days that he laid out for us to follow, right? As blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You understand? Just now, hold 1 minute. Let me get this here, right? So we have the Sabbath day, right? When you go through Leviticus 23, you go understand the feast days that the Most High have. Also, too, there's Purim in the book of Esther, but I just go into this for now, and then we will get into understanding more about the Most High feast days, as high holy days, and stuff like that, right? Yeah. So we go into, so we have the Sabbath day. Then after the Sabbath, we have the Passover. You understand? We have the Feast of Unleavened Bread. We have the Feast of First Fruits. We have the Memorial of the Blowing of Trumpets. We have the Day of Atonement, the Feast of Tabernacles, the Feast of Dedication. You understand? Which we say in the Hebrew Hakaneka, right? And we also have Purim. You understand? These are the feast days, the high holy days that the Most High laid out for us to follow as a people. But when we don't know who we are, because again, stick up in the Christian church, not asking the pastor no questions, and just taking what he feed us. We don't understand that we have particular feast days, high holy days to follow. You understand? And when we don't know that, we stick up between the other nations, we stick up between the heathens, and we go after their customs. You understand? When the Most High say, go not into the way of the heathens in the book of Jeremiah. You understand? To go not into the way of the heathens, don't follow the Christmas, don't follow the Easter, and all these other days that they put out and portray to be holy and acceptable to the Most High. Right? So from there, let me go to the book of Exodus chapter 1 and Exodus chapter 20. We go start at verse 1, right?
20.
Yeah, and we go start at verse 1. To water.
Book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1. And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am the Most High thy power.
You understand? So now the Most High speaking all these words. These words is not Moses' words. This is not what Moses make up. This is not what the I.S.U.P.K make up. This is not what I make up. You understand? These are the words that the Most High, out of the mouth of the Most High is saying. Right? Take it from the top again one more time.
Book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
And the Most High spake all these words, saying, verse 2. I am the Most High thy power.
I am who?
I am the Most High thy power.
I am the Most High thy God. Go ahead.
Which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
You could say God for now.
Right,
just for the sake of the audience, right? I know see. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Different time maybe we go interchange it so they're gonna know the God means the Most High, stuff like that, right? Take it from the top again. Tawada.
Book of Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 1. And God spake all these words, saying,
right.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
You understand? So Moses is telling the Israelites, I am the Lord thy God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt. You understand? Out of the house of bondage. Because of course, when I read back in the book of Exodus chapter 19 and also in chapter 20, you'd see where the Israelites were scared of hearing the Most High voice. You understand? So because of course when the Most High was speaking, there was thunderings and lightnings and stuff like that. But we will get into that, right? So the Most High is saying, I am the Lord thy God that brought thee out of the house of Egypt. You understand? Because in Egypt, we was what? In Egypt? What was that, so?
Slaves.
You are slaves in Egypt. You are servants in Egypt. You understand? You are under hard bondage in Egypt.
Right.
That is why you say we out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Because in Egypt we was under bondage. Right. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Thou shalt what?
Have no other gods before me.
You understand? Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Meaning what? The Most High letting you know that He is the one who bring you out of this captivity, this bondage. You understand? He is the one that brought you out of Egypt, out of servitude. You understand? When we had to make brick without straw and these different things. You understand what I'm saying? He is the one who bring us out of that. Because we are under the hands of our oppressors. You understand? Give me Exodus chapter 5. Hold that right. Hold the same 20, right? But give me 5 and 5. Right? Let me just touch on that a little bit.
Exodus chapter 5 and verse 5.
Go ahead.
And Pharaoh said.
And what?
And Pharaoh said. Behold, the people of the land now are many.
That will 5 and 5, right? Take it from the top again. Tawada.
Exodus chapter 5 and verse 5.
Go ahead.
And Pharaoh said, behold, the people of the land now are many.
You understand? So Pharaoh now, seeing that the Israelites, they're growing, they become many. You understand? So he's saying, the people of the land have become many. Go ahead.
And yea, make them rest from their burdens.
You understand? And you charging the taskmasters and letting them know you making them rest from their burdens. They giving them time to rest. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And Pharaoh commanded the same day the taskmasters.
What you do?
And Pharaoh commanded the same day the taskmasters
Go ahead.
of the people and their officers, saying, verse 7, you shall no more give the people straw to make brick.
You understand? So Pharaoh commanded the taskmasters. Just like we are taskmasters over Slovakia, over us here in Trinidad when we go to our slavery. You understand? So Pharaoh commanding the taskmasters and telling them, go ahead. You shall go start from verse 7.
Verse 7. You shall no more give the people straw to make brick.
You understand? You shall no more give the people straw to make brick. You understand what I'm saying? And in some companies, locally here in Trinidad, when you go to these companies and you work in, you know what they start to tell you have to work with your own tools. Because before now you go to your employer, you get employed, you lay out your tools, your grinder, your chip and hammer, your this, that, if it's a welder, whatever the case might be, and they send you out to work. You understand? But then now it's reaching to the point where there's hard bondage coming on us. And they're telling you now you have to work with your own tools to the job site. You understand? No difference from back then in Egypt. Right? Go ahead.
Okay. As here 2:4, let them go and gather straw for themselves.
You understand? Let them go and gather straw for themselves. So now the straw was being gathered for them to make the brick. But now them have to go out and look for the straw. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 8. And the tail of the brick which they did make, here 2:4, you shall lay upon them. You shall not diminish aught. Therefore, for they be idle, therefore,
right.
Cry saying.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let us go and sacrifice to our God.
You understand? So in a sense, it's saying here, don't give them time to not be idle. You understand? Or as they go say they want to go and sacrifice to the God. Go ahead.
Verse 9. Let there more work be laid upon the men.
Let what?
Let there more work be laid upon the men, that they may labor therein. And let them not regard vain words.
You understand? So he's saying here, right? Let there more work be laid upon the men. So now Pharaoh is charging the taskmasters and telling them, give them men more work. You understand what I'm saying? No more than these industries out here in Trinidad. The taskmaster that is put over the children of Israel, telling them, give them more work. So now sometimes you might be working from, let me say, 7 to 4, 7 to 8, 7 to 3. You understand? The hours change. Give them more work. You're working now from 6 to 6. You understand? But because we in servitude, we really don't know what it is to be rulers. We thinking that is a good thing.
Right.
But the taskmasters and them giving us more work. No difference than in Egypt. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 10. And the taskmasters of the people went out, and their officers, and they spake to the people, saying, Thus saith Pharaoh, I will not give you straw.
You understand? So these taskmasters went out with their officers. So that is like supervisors and lead men and foremen. They went out to their taskmasters and tell them, to their servants, and tell them, all ain't getting no straw to make bread. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 11. Go you, get you straw where you can find it. Yet not aught of your work shall be diminished.
You understand? So he's saying, go and get your own straw, and let not aught of your work be diminished. Meaning, the same work you're putting out at the end of the day, same thing you have to put out, but you finding your own straw. You understand? It ain't no different. Nothing changed. You understand what I'm saying? Again, it's like back then when you had to go and look for a job, they'll tell you, come Monday and do a job test. But now you have to pay to do your own job test. You understand? Many different things they start implementing into the industry. You understand? And you being a servant not understanding these same things was happening back then with your people. You understand? As blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Go ahead.
Verse 12. So the people were scattered abroad throughout all the land of Egypt to gather stubbles and instead of straw.
Right, so they scatter all over the land to gather stubble instead of straw. Right, go ahead.
Verse 13. And the taskmasters hasted them, saying, Fulfill your works, your daily task, as when there was straw.
You understand? And the taskmasters telling them all they had to fulfill all their daily task as if all they already had straw. You understand? So more or less it's like they had to move double. They had to put out double than what they had to put out before. You understand? So because again, when you was back out in the industries. Some of the tasks they're giving you want to know if them right in the head. You understand what I'm saying? Because 1 minute you'll come here and work with this company, you might do, let me say you might have to weld something that will take 4 hours. Right? So you go weld that for 4 hours, and then 3 months later when you come back into the company, they work the same thing welding that you used to do for 3 hours, the way you do it for 1.5 or 1. You understand? They increase that on you. Alright, go ahead, Officer Shah.
Verse 14. And the officers of the children of Israel, which Pharaoh, taskmaster, had set over them, were beaten and demanded.
Go ahead.
Wherefore have you not fulfilled your task in making bricks, both yesterday and today, as heretofore?
You understand? So in a nutshell, what the scripture is saying here is just that the children of Israel was under heavy servitude in Egypt, under the hands of their taskmasters, under the hand of Pharaoh. You understand what I'm saying here? And this year now we will start to go and get into essence of concerning the Sabbath. Right? So we will go into that. Alright? So we will go back to the book of Exodus. Right? Came out from verse 2, Exodus 20 and verse 2.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt,
right?
Out of the house of bondage.
Right? So the Most High is saying that he is the one who brought us out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You understand? Where we was in servitude again, under the hands of Pharaoh. Right? Where we had to make we brick without straw. But the burdens was increased upon us. Right? Go ahead.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Thou shalt what?
Have no other gods before me.
You understand? You shall have no other gods before the Most High. Because of course no other gods brought you out of that servitude. You understand? Out of the hands of your oppressors. Right? No other gods did that. Where you was in Egypt building great cities, you was building towns, building pyramids and all these different things. You understand? And of course, the oppressor who's the Bible speaks of will make you feel that aliens come and build the pyramids. You understand? When us, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the children of Israel, build the pyramids in Egypt. You understand? When you go back to the Babylon to Timbuktu with that history, you understand where we was a skillful and industrious people. You understand? These nations know that. Right?
Right.
So verse 2 is saying, give me that again.
Verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
You understand?
Out of the house of bondage.
So the Most High is the one who brought us out of the land of Egypt. You understand? No difference. Again, they're just drawing reference to back here in Trinidad. Right? These industries where we work at, like the Atlantic LNG, the Power Gen, the one in Labrador, the TGU, up and out in Point Lisa. These is industry that we build, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
You understand? Again, no difference from in Egypt when we build pyramids, we build cities. We are accustomed doing these things. You understand? So no other God brought us out of the land of Egypt and show us his love by redeeming us from the hands of our enemies, from the hands of our oppressors. Right? Go ahead.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
So you should have no other gods before the Most High. You should have no Kali, no Lakshmi, no Allah, no Buddha. You understand? And all these other gods. Don't have these other gods before the Most High. Right? Go ahead.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images.
Thou shalt do what?
Not make any graven images.
You understand? Thou shalt make unto thee no graven images. You understand? This year now starting to go into what? Idol worship. Of course, in Israel, we had our images because every nation, every tribe, Salakia, had their image. They had their ensign on their flag. You understand? Judah have the lion. Benjamin had the wolf. You understand? And so forth and so forth. I think Issachar is what? The bull. I might check it to make sure. Salakia. You understand? We had our images, so it's not talking about that. You understand? The tribe of Levi, they had the dice. You understand? The Cubans had the bull and so forth. All our tribes, we had our ensign. Right. So it's not talking about that going into graven images, worshipping of graven images. Go ahead.
or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath.
You understand? So we're not supposed to go into any images. Don't bow down to no images. We, as the children of Israel, we have our Most High power that brought us out of the land of Egypt. We ain't supposed to go and serve no other gods. We ain't supposed to go and bow down to no other gods, neither to the sun above or the earth beneath. Alright, go ahead.
Or that is in the water under the earth.
Right.
Verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them.
Thou shalt do what?
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them.
You understand? So don't bow down yourself to them. Go ahead.
Nor serve them.
You understand? So don't worship them. When they say bowing down yourself to them, right? Don't worship them and don't serve them. Don't make that your strength, your God, your power now. You understand? Go ahead.
For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God.
I the Lord thy God, and what?
A jealous God.
Because why? The Most High God chose you as a holy people, a separate people unto himself. You understand? The Lord is a jealous God. The Lord wants you, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to himself. You understand? No difference than let me say, a man back in the world, right? That will go in a party and a man might come and whisper something, he girl, or you rape. You understand? And then now you know, watching how she laughing and thinking, and you start to get jealous. But the Most High is saying he's a jealous God. He don't want you going and serve no other gods, bowing down to them and worshiping to them. He wants you to himself. You understand? He sees that jealous God, and the Most High, of course, gets jealous when we go into the Christian church, when we go into the Muslim mosque. You understand? When we fighting for Rasta and Muslim, the Most High is a jealous God when we doing these kind of madness. You understand? Go ahead.
Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children.
Visiting what?
The iniquities of the fathers upon the children.
You understand? So the Most High is a jealous God, and he will visit the iniquity, the sins of our fathers, to the children. Go ahead.
Unto the third and fourth generation.
You understand?
Of them that hate me.
Up to the what?
Of third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
You understand? And of course, the Most High, when he says visit the iniquity of your fathers, you understand? When our forefathers sinned before us, or you sin, your children, if you don't get judged for that, the Most High will judge you for that. The Most High say he will visit the iniquity of your fathers until the what? The third and fourth generation. The Most High is coming down. If you don't get judged, your children are going to get judged for that. Or your children, or your great-grandchildren, or how we just say. You understand? The Most High is going to do what? The Most High is going to visit your seed. You understand? The sins that you do, the Lord is going to visit your children. When you sin, the Lord will visit the evils of your doing. Either in this life, or you will visit it in the next. You understand what I'm saying? When your children born, your children or your great-grandchildren might born with sickle cell and blindness and all these different things. You understand what I'm saying? Some of them might born finny because of the things that you do. So it's not to say like we could just go and sin all willy-nilly and do as we please. You understand what I'm saying? And when these things happen, we want to know why and how come. And then when we go to the Christian church or we go to the Christian pastors, they have no answers for us because, of course, they don't know. They don't know that you're committing sin. They don't know that when your parents commit sin or they commit sin, it's going to fall on the children if they don't get judged for it. You understand? And it's very important that we understand. Once we understand what is sin, again, sin is the transgression of the law. We know if we sin against the Most High, if we don't get judged for it in this life, we come back, we're going to get judged for it. If we come back and we get judged for it, we children going to pay the price for it. You understand? And these prophets, they know about that. They knew about that. You understand? Give me the book of some whole lot, Holy Exodus, but give me the book of John chapter 9. Give me it from verse 1. You understand? That's why it's important to walk right with the Most High, because you thinking that you could do as you please, eat what you want, be an adulterer, be a homosexual, be a whore, and then go to the church and the Most High will just forgive you. You understand what I'm saying? And then Monday, please God, they go back and do the same thing again. And that is not so. You understand? Again, if the Most High will judge you, going to fall on your children. And sometimes judgment will be nice from the Most High. Get run over by cars, by bus, stray bullet. You understand? This is how the Most High is functioning. The Most High say, I kill and I make alive. Plenty of people don't understand that the Most High does do that. You understand?
Right.
They love to ball Satan busy. Of course, Satan busy. Satan working for the Most High.
That's right.
You understand? When the Most High call his shots, Satan going to execute it. You understand? Go ahead with the John chapter 9 verse 1.
John chapter 9 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And as Jesus passed it by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth.
And as Jesus passed it by, he saw a man, right, who was blind from his birth. Now, there's something that the disciples knew and they understood. Otherwise, they wouldn't be asking this question, right? But again, you have to read. The Christian church don't make you read with reading comprehension. They just read and just fly over certain things. You understand? But when you come into the I.S.U.P.K, you take your time, you read the Bible, and you ask the questions and get answered. These disciples understood something, and you will see where it is they understood. Right? Coming back to where we were just reading in Exodus chapter 20, verse 5, where the Most High is saying he will visit the iniquity of the fathers unto the third and fourth generation. If it miss you, somebody down your generation going and get. Right? Go ahead.
John chapter 9 and verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin?
Right? So the disciples asking Christ because, of course, Jesus was walking by, and it had this man who was blind from youth. Right? So these disciples now see and ask, Master, who did sin? Go ahead.
This man or his parents?
Right? They're asking who did sin? This man or his parents? Go ahead.
That he was born blind?
That he was what?
Born blind?
That he was what?
Born blind?
That he was born blind. So they're asking if this man sinned that he was born blind, or if it was his parents' sin that made him born blind. You understand? Letting you know what the things that you do as a parent or as a foreparent, as we go say, will fall back on your children. You understand? Children get born blind, cerebral palsy, they call it sickle cell and all these different things. Things could happen because of our sins. And how would they say it? How would they like to say it? Some might say is what? Generational curse. Because they don't understand when they sin, that sin coming back on their children. You understand what I'm saying? And they're not getting the answers from the Christian church, so they're all willy-nilly way, but like, be on that generational curse, boy. Every time you reach this age, somebody have to die. Or every time you reach this part of the year, somebody have to die. But not knowing that the Most High visiting you all because of your iniquity.
Right.
You understand? So who did sin? This man or his parents? Meaning what? Even the man who sinned in his next life, he could be born blind. You understand? Because they call that what? When they say in the next life, what do they call it? Regeneration. You understand? Letting you know that you're coming back. When you die, you come back on the earth. Have nothing new under the sun. You're coming back on the earth again to do it right. Or to get a chance to do it right. You understand? Is it on that, right, Officer Shah? Right. So go ahead again, Officer Swap. Right? So of course the Christian church don't understand the scriptures. They don't understand, right, that when you sin, it could fall on your children. It could fall on you. You could get judged for it, as well as your children could fall prey to it. You understand? So it's very, very important that we understand these things. You understand? Give me all that, right? Give me Lamentations 5 and 7. Officer Shah. Tawada. Right? So we go understand a little bit more about when we sin, when we transgress against the Most High, when we transgress the laws against the Most High, coming upon our children, or it could come upon us. That is very important to understand, because in keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes, if we break the laws, we could get judged for it. You as the individual could get judged for it, and your children could get judged for it also. And as a nation, if the nation break the laws, the Most High is going to punish us. That is why we're in this position that we are right now, because we broke the Most High laws, commandments, and statutes. Right? Go ahead.
Lamentation chapter 5 and verse 7. Our fathers have sinned.
Our what?
Our fathers have sinned.
You understand? So they're saying our fathers have sinned. Our foreparents have sinned. You understand? Go ahead.
And are not.
And are what?
And are not. And we have borne their iniquities.
You understand? Our fathers have sinned and are not, meaning they are dead. They are not here. They are in the grave. You understand? And we have borne their iniquity. What that word born mean? B-O-R-N-E. Let me look it up. Right? Give me 1 minute. 1 minute, let me catch up that word born. B-O-R-N-E. B-O-R-N-E, have any book there? Right, officer? Right. B-O-R-N-E, born. Carried by or spread by. You understand? So when you say we have borne iniquity, we have carried their iniquity. We have carried their punishment. So they're dead and gone. But we have borne their iniquities. You understand what I'm showing you? We is the one who had to pay the price for the things that they have done. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 8.
No, that is it on verse 5. Read it from the top again.
Lamentation chapter 5 and verse 7. Our fathers have sinned.
You understand? So our fathers have sinned. They transgressed the laws of the Most High. They started crab, pork, shrimp, and lobster. And of course, they know you're not supposed to be eating that. Who started to commit adultery? Who started to be homosexuals? They have sinned. They have done everything that is opposite to what the Most High laid out for them. Go ahead.
And are not.
And are what?
And are
You
not.
understand? And they are dead in the grave. Right? Go ahead.
And we have borne their
You
iniquities.
understand? And we is the ones who carry the iniquity. It have nothing to do with no generational curse. You understand what I'm saying? We is the ones who carry the iniquity. If you sin, your children are going to carry the iniquity. And of course, sin is the transgression of the law. You understand? These laws found in the Bible that a Christian church and a Christian pastor say the laws of God are done away with. When they are not done away with. You understand what I'm saying? They are here for you to keep as a black man, Hispanic man, or Native Indian man, right? Give me 1 John 5 and 3. You hold that right, so give me the officer Shah here. 1 John 5 and 3. What verse you chat, Officer Swab?
Going on to verse 6.
Right, go, give me verse 6.
Right.
And give me 1 John 5 and 3. I try you hold it.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 6.
Exodus 20 and verse 6. Go ahead.
And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me.
You understand? And the Most High does what? Show mercy unto thousands of them that love him. You understand? And how you love the Most High? Give me 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3.
1 John chapter 5 and verse 3. For this is the love of God.
Right? So in 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3, you're going to understand what it means to love the Most High. But let me continue in Exodus. Give me from the top in Exodus again.
Verse 6, right?
Yeah.
And the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 6. And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me.
You understand? And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love the Most High. And go ahead.
And keep my commandments.
You understand? Showing mercy to those that keep the Most High commandments. You understand? Showing mercy to them that love me. And give me 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3, Officer Shah.
1 John chapter 5 and verse 3. For this is the love of God.
Right? For this is the love of God. So now we're seeing the Most High show mercy to thousands of them that love him. And we're going to see what is the love of the Most High. Go ahead.
That we keep his commandments.
You understand? That we keep his commandments. This is the love of God. That we keep his commandments. Give me 2 John chapter 1 and verse 6. There's no other way to love the Most High. You could go to how much church. You could go to how much mosque. You could shake how much shack. You could moan how much time. You could dance around the center pole 50 and 60 times. You have no other way to show the Most High that you love him.
Right.
You understand? 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3 say, for this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. You could do what you want. And feel the Most High blessing you and feel you prosperous and all these different things. You understand? That ain't so. This is the love of God. Go ahead, 2 John chapter 1 and verse 6.
Second John chapter 1 and verse 6.
Go ahead.
And this is love.
And this is what?
And this is love. That we walk after his commandments.
That we do what?
That we walk after his commandments.
And this is love. That we walk after the Most High commandments. This is love. This is how we show love towards the Most High. We walking towards the commandments at the Most High, showing that we love our brothers and sisters also. You understand? Because in these laws, commandments, and statutes, we know what to do when dealing with our brother, when dealing with our sister, when dealing with strangers that come into our land. When I say strangers come into our land, I'm talking about other tribe. Like if I'm in the tribe of Benjamin, Like if somebody from tribe of God come, if a stranger come into my land, into my hometown, into my zone, you understand? How to deal with the poor, how to deal with if you have maid servants and man servants, if you have workers, how to deal with them. You understand? Go ahead.
This is the commandments that, as you have heard from the beginning.
You understand? So just like it was in the beginning, this is the commandments that you have heard. I see another?
Wow.
Go ahead.
You should walk in it.
You should do what?
You should walk in it.
You should walk in it. Meaning you should follow it. That should be your life. You understand? Go ahead. That's the night? Alright. You understand? That is what we're supposed to do as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. To show the Most High that we love him.
Right.
It have no other way. You understand what I'm saying? It's very important that we understand that, right? Give me verse 8 in the Exodus. What was that, so?
Book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 8. Remember the Sabbath.
Do what?
Remember the Sabbath day.
Do what?
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
You understand? So he's saying, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. And of course, as I was saying before, the Christian pastors, they don't understand what it means to be holy. They don't understand what it means when they say, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Because of course, holy to a Christian pastor is taking up some water from the whatever basin I have, sprinkling it on you, and you holy. You understand? Holy to a Christian pastor is not missing us at Sunday service. You holy. Holy to a Christian pastor is you not using obscene language. You understand what I'm saying? And having all these heathen nations oppressing you. This is what holy means to your Christian pastor. You understand? When holy means separate. You understand? Take it from the top again.
Book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 8.
Go ahead.
Remember the Sabbath day.
So remember the Sabbath day. Go ahead.
To keep it holy.
And keep it holy. Keep it separate. Now it's important that you understand when the Most High say keep it holy, keep it separate. Right? Go ahead.
6 days shall thou labor.
6 what?
6 days shall thou labor.
You understand? So now, 6 days you should labor. Somebody look up the word labor for me. Right? Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. You understand? How are you going to keep the Sabbath day holy? How are you going to keep it separate from the other 6 days? Because in verse 9 it says, 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work. You understand? So on this day, this Sabbath day, how are you going to keep it holy? How are you going to keep it separate? Right? Anybody mean any labor? Must I get it here? Right? Labor. Productive activity, especially for the sake of economic gain. Right? The body of persons engage in such activity, especially those working for wages. You understand what I'm saying? So when he says 6 days, thou shalt labor and do all thy work. Right? That labor means your employment. That means your job. 6 days, you should do your job. You should do your employment. You should do your labor. You understand? And do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath unto the Most High. Give me verse 10.
Verse 10. But the 7th
No,
day...
sorry. Give me back on verse 6 again.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 6. And showing mercy...
No. Sorry, not 6. 9. I mean 6 days now. Yeah. Sorry. Select here. Yeah.
Verse 9. 6 days shall thou labor.
You understand? So 6 days you should do your employment. You should do your labor. You should do your work, your job. Right? You're in slavery. 6 days you do your slavery. Go ahead.
And do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
You understand? So on the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. Right? So how you keep the Sabbath day separate from all the other days is just don't do your slavery, your employment, your job on the 7th day. You understand? Don't do that laborious work or your employment on that day. You understand? We'll get more into it. Right? So like for example, if it's like we say that welder, you're doing work for wages, you don't do it on that day. You're a tileman, a mason, scaffolder, truck driver, whoever it is, you don't do that because they're doing that 6 days already. Only 7 days, that day, you're not doing that laborious work. You're not doing a job. You're not doing a slave. You understand? That people who say you're not doing no kind of work. Fake Israelite camps and all say they don't do no work. But then they're going out on the streets on Saturday to talk the word on the Musa. You understand? That is work too. So they don't understand what it is they're saying. They're talking about employment. You understand? Go ahead.
In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle.
Right? So of course, just now before we go there, right? Of course, if you don't understand what is work as a people, you understand, it will be hard for us to understand the Sabbath. If you don't understand what is work, you understand, we go start to have a problem, because some people look at work like changing the baby diaper. Some people look at work like giving the baby tea. You understand? And when you're saying you should do no work, of course, you don't want to give a baby no tea. You don't want to change the baby diaper. You understand what I'm saying? If you're dealing with somebody who is like an elderly in your house, you understand? And you say you should do no work, no manner of work, nothing, that person will not stay down there, because of course you have to give them the medication and all these different things. You understand what I'm saying? So when they're saying they should do no manner of work, they don't understand what they're talking about. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? And of course, with that work, with the word work, and not going in to find out what it means, they started to jump to philosophies and debates and all these different things, and then it end up winding up that you is just a Christian. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? Of course, we're going in more to understand more about the Sabbath day. You understand? Go ahead. Take it from verse 10 again.
Book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 10. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
Right.
In it thou shalt not do any work.
You understand? So the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it, you shall do no work, meaning you should not go and do your slavery, your employment. Right? Go ahead.
Thou, nor thy son.
Not thou, nor who?
Nor thy son.
And we go understand when the Mosai started breaking down here now, for you to understand. When Moses, when the Mosai spake these words, and let us understand, thou, nor thy son. Go ahead, continue going on your line.
Nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant.
Thy what?
Maidservant.
Thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, right?
Nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
Right? So your maidservant, your manservant, your cattle, no, your stranger, your brother that is within your gates, right? So of course your sons and your daughters, for example, if you have your own business, like for example a family business, your sons and your daughters going to be employed with you. You understand what I'm saying? So now he's saying, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it, thou shalt do no work. Thou shalt not do any work. Thou, which means you the employer, you understand? And thy manservant, your male servant, you understand? Now your maid servant, your woman servant, now your cattle. When you come with your cattle, now we're talking about like if you have a farm. Of course, you'll pay people to use their cattle, and then back then in Israel to plow the land. You understand? To rotate the soil. You understand what I'm saying? Once you have people employed, none of them is to work on the Sabbath day. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 7. Verse 11. Exactly. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth.
For in what?
6 days the Lord made heaven and earth. The sea and all that in them is.
You understand? So in 6 days the Most High made the heaven and earth, the sea and everything in it. Go ahead.
And rested.
Give me a 2 Peter 3 and 8. Go ahead.
And rested.
And what?
And rested the 7th day.
You understand? Because in Genesis, right, the Lord rested on the 7th day, and of course, when Officer Shah get the scripture, we understand that a day for the Most High is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as a day. You understand what I'm saying? Right? So in Genesis, the Most High rested on the 7th day. You understand? And when you're reading the book of Genesis, you understand that the word God means powers, Alahayam, or angels. You can use it in these contexts. You understand what I'm saying? So in the 7th day, the all the instructions that the Most High give to the angels and to the powers, they rested on the 7th day. They did no work on the 7th day. And of course, give me check. 2 Peter 3 and 8.
2 Peter 3 and 8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing.
Be not ignorant of this one thing. Right? Meaning what? Take this into consideration. Don't be ignorant about it. Go ahead.
That one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years.
You understand? One day with the Lord is as 1,000 years. Go ahead.
And 1,000 years as one day.
And 1,000 years as one day. So when the Most High rested in the 6th day and the 7th day, Salakia. You understand? When you work for the 6 days and you rested on the 7th, you gotta understand how long it take before the earth was fully designed, fully put together. You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't just 7 days as a Christian count once Monday to Sunday. You understand? It wasn't just 7 days. You understand? So the powers that be, they are all rested, right? Go ahead, Officer Shah. After they put together all the atoms and the earth, the seas, the grass, everything, they rested. And of course, they didn't just rest for a whole 1,000 years because they say on the 7th day they rested and they didn't do nothing. Because of course, the angel was coming down and visiting men and stuff like that. You understand? Go ahead. No, Officer Swab.
Yeah. Wherefore, the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
He blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. You understand? He make it separate. He blessed it, hallowed it, sanctified, and make it separate. You understand what I'm saying? Right? Now, what I want to find out is how we can read this. You understand? And say now, because many Christians like to say, you can't bake bread on the Sabbath day, you can't do nothing, you can't watch TV, you can't wash clothes. You understand what I'm saying? You can't do nothing like that. When you read this alone, how would you reach to that? When you do the definitions of the word labor and work and all these different things. You understand? But of course, we're going to go into it a little more for you to understand more about the Sabbath day, right? So you understand so far that when you hear on the 7th day, when we do no servile, not servile, but yeah, when we do no work, no laborious work, none of our employment or our job, that is how we make the day separate from the other 6 days. You understand? And of course, we are in our captivity. If you have to slave on the Sabbath day in the I.S.U.P.K, right? We do nothing without counsel. So if you have to slave or anything like that, you make sure you contact your camp leader and get some counsel on working on the Sabbath day, right? Because sometimes too, you might have your own business. You understand? You might want to shut it down, or you might, depending on what it is you're doing, you might be a surgeon, a doctor or something that had to go out and do a surgery, whatever the case might be. You can say, well, I ain't going and do it, right? So you call, you get your counsel, and they will advise you accordingly. Because again, scripture say do nothing without counsel, and in the I.S.U.P.K, we don't do nothing without counsel, right? So again, these laws, commandments, and statutes is here for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to help us, to govern us, to put us on the right path with the Most High, you understand? Just like in Trinidad, there are laws to govern the society. We as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we have laws, commandments, and statutes. We have rules to govern our people, you understand? Because, of course, if you don't have no rules in a society, if you have no rules in a nation, of course, the people that is over you, or even people in your nation, is going to just oppress the other. You understand what I'm saying? Because you have no laws to say, well, all right, you're working for 8 hours and take 2 hours off or take a break time. You understand? I think we're nothing like that. From there, give me boom. Exodus 20, give me verse 11. We reach 11 already? Yeah. Right? Give me Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 6. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 1. Sorry. You understand? Because of course, the same thing that we read in the book of Exodus, you understand, is the same thing we're going to read in the book of Deuteronomy. You understand? We're just going to get more clear. You understand? Because if you read through Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, you understand plenty of the things repeating and just getting more clear and more clear for you to understand. You understand? And of course, must read the Bible precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, to understand this Bible. You understand? Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 1. And Moses called all Israel and said unto them, Hear, O Israel,
Hear what?
hear, O Israel, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your ears this day, that you may learn them and keep and do them.
Yeah, go ahead. Deuteronomy what?
Deuteronomy chapter
5 and verse 1?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
verse 2 or
No, give me back from verse 1.
Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 1. And Moses called all Israel and said unto them, Hear, O Israel,
Right?
the statutes and judgments which I speak in your ears this day, that you may learn them.
You understand? So Moses is saying, the statutes and the judgment that I speak to you, you're going to learn them. You understand? And not just learn them, but learn them and do them, right? Go ahead.
And keep and do them. Verse 2. The Lord our God made a covenant with us in Horeb. Verse 3. The Lord made not this covenant with our fathers.
Yes, now hold on. 35, 5 and 1 reading, right? Okay, let me catch up with you. Chapter 5 and verse 1. Right, go ahead.
Verse 3 now.
Oh, go ahead. Take it from verse 2.
Verse 2. The Lord our God made a covenant with us in Horeb.
Go ahead.
Verse 3. The Lord made not this covenant with our fathers, but with us, even us, who are all of us here alive this day.
You understand? Even all of us who are here alive this day, go ahead.
Verse 4. The Lord talked it with you face to face in the mount out of the midst of the fire.
You understand? So Moses talked to us from the mount out of the midst of the fire. You understand? Because again, the children of Israel, they was afraid. They were scared when they heard the thunders and lightning, and they end up telling Moses, Moses, you want to talk to the Most High. We don't want to hear. You understand? Unless we should die. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 5. I stood between the Lord and you
Right?
at that time to show you the word of the Lord. For you were afraid by reason of the fire and went not up into the mount, saying,
Go ahead.
verse 6?
Yeah.
Verse 6. I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. Verse 7. Thou shalt have none other gods before me.
You understand? Thou shalt have no other gods before me, right? Just now hold 1 minute. Right? Jump to verse 12.
Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 12. Keep the Sabbath day to sanctify it, as the Lord thy God had commanded thee.
Right? So Moses is saying, keep the Sabbath day and sanctify it just like the Lord had commanded you. Right? The same way he tell you to do it, just do it the exact same way. Right? Go ahead.
6 days thou shalt labor.
You understand? So 6 days thou shalt labor. Again, we're looking up the definition of the word labor. You understand? And it's saying work for which someone is paid. Right? 6 days they should labor. 6 days they should do the job for which you're being paid. Right? The employment. Go ahead.
And do all thy work. Verse 14.
Go ahead.
But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord.
But the what?
But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord.
You understand? So the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord. So Moses is going to let you know here now. The same thing that was back in Exodus is the same thing I tell you now. But if you didn't believe me then, you're going to believe what I'm saying here now. Right? Go ahead from verse 14 from the top.
Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 14. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
You understand? But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. Go ahead.
In it thou shalt not do any work.
So in it, they shall not do employment. They should not labor. Go ahead.
thou nor thy son,
You, neither your son, go ahead,
neither thy daughter,
neither your daughter,
nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy ox,
right?
nor thy ass.
You understand? Because why? Again, if you was into farming, of course you will have to employ people to use the oxens, the oxens and the asses to plow the field. You understand? To turn up the soil. You understand? Go ahead.
Nor any of thy cattle, nor thy strangers
Neither your own people. Go ahead.
that is within thy gates,
That is within your gates. You understand? Go ahead, read.
that thy manservants and thy maidservants may rest, as well as thou.
You understand? So now that your manservants, the people that you're paying, your employees, they may rest as well as with you. So on that day, you understand? That's not talking about you can't do nothing on the Sabbath day. That talking about you cannot do your slavery, your job, the job that you're earning a salary, a wage from. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead, verse 14. You understand? Because of course, by law in any country, it must have a rest period. If you're working 40 hours for the week, they give you the weekend off. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? Or they give you Saturday and Sunday off. You understand? And of course, in this captivity that we're in under the hands of our oppressors, they know that we are the children of Israel. You understand what I'm saying? So of course, they will try their best to make you keep away from doing what you need to do, from keeping your laws, commandments, and statutes of the Most High. So you know what they start to do? They start to pay what? Time and a half and double. So now you being in servitude, not really knowing what is true rulership. You understand? You run and you scramble for it, not knowing that you're just scrambling after nothing because you already had nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Again, these nations take crafty counsel in the book of Psalms chapter 83. You understand? So that your name will be cut off. You, Israel, will be no more in remembrance. So when you're running behind these things, after a while coming down in your generations, they're going to forget that to keep the Sabbath. Because they're studying that double time, that time and a half, that triple time. You understand what I'm showing you? That these oppressors tore us before us. And we run and grab it. You understand? When the Most High telling you, these are my feasts and my ordinances that you should keep. The Most High telling you that. It's have a day for you to rest. Alright, go ahead.
Verse 15.
Yeah, go to verse 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 15. And remember that thou wast a servant in the land of Egypt.
You understand? So the Most High is saying, and remember that you was a servant in Egypt. You understand? Remember you was a servant in Egypt. So when you keeping the Sabbath day, as some people like to say, I not doing that, you rather do not turn on no light, don't turn on no ignition, you rock back. You not do nothing on the Sabbath day. Most I telling you, when you keeping the Sabbath day, remember you was a servant in Egypt. You was under hard bondage in Egypt. I am the Lord thy God that brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? That in itself supposed to let you know the Most High trying to let you know. You understand? Don't do no work. It's time to rest. It was a servant. It was under hard bondage. I brought you out and gave the Sabbath day to rest from that laborious work, from that employment, from that slavery, from going into your job, your daily job that you will go 6 days. You understand? Go ahead.
And that the Lord thy God brought thee out thence through a mighty hand, and by a strength and stretched out arm. Therefore the Lord thy God commanded thee to keep the Sabbath day.
Yeah. You understand? So the Most High commanded to keep the Sabbath day. Say, remember that you was a servant in the land of Egypt. Of course, the Most High wanted to know when you're dealing with your employees as an employer. You understand? Remember that you was a servant. Deal with them fair. Give them that day to rest. You understand what I'm saying? That is what the Sabbath day was for rest. It was a day to rest. You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't a day for you to just or they like to say it again in them fake groups and them. Forget what it is just by, but them and I mess. So what important is words coming out of the Most High mouth, letting you know that this day he made it for you to rest. You understand what I'm saying? It's important that you know that. Where we reach, verse 15, give me Exodus 35 and 1.
Like I said, and then after, you know, these things, I don't know what is really be going on in them church, because this thing we are plain and simple way. You hear the Sabbath saying now what? On the 7th day rest, right? So that one, no work. But then they tell you can't do this. And you can't do that kind of thing, right? And then after that, the Mosai, the Mosai say how that's not. I'm trying to remember what I lost it.
I don't remember it, you tell me.
Yeah.
No, because I'm telling that's how it is. You're telling them one thing, they don't understand what it means. You understand? They're not going into no meaning and no words for you to understand. So when you're talking about labor, you understand what I'm saying? And all these different things for you to fully grasp the concept. You see the Most High come back and say, remember he was a servant in the land of Egypt. That letting you know that he was under servitude. He was doing something for somebody else. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? And of course we know we were servants in Egypt.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? In Israel, we had, if you do a little backdrop on Israel, we as Israelites had other Israelites working for us.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? We had other Israelites working for us. And it have laws in the scriptures where tell you have to treat your servants good, do this, pay them the right wage. If the poor come to work for you, you have to pay them the wage before the sun go down. All these different things we're going to gain as the time going by. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? But this line you know that the Sabbath day, the Most High made it for you to rest off your slavery, off your common job that you will do Monday, Sunday to Friday evening sundown. Because Friday evening sundown, the day start to Saturday evening sundown. That is the Sabbath day. You understand? Go ahead, officer.
That was it I was going to say.
Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, when you go on the almanac, right? They will mark Sunday is the first day of the week.
Right.
So you go there and you check that now. They come like this, you're seeing that is now the almanac is like 8 days now, because when you're thinking now, they're going to church on Sunday. So like everything you learn in school is like you ain't learn nothing.
Nothing, you ain't learn nothing. Of course you ain't learn nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Because the most important thing you're supposed to learn when you're going to school is who he is. You understand what I'm saying? Because as blacks, Hispanics, and Indians, we don't know nothing. We don't know with culture, with laws, with history, with heritage. When we was going to school.
Right.
You understand? But the I.S.U.P.K under commanding General YAHANNA, we bringing back that remembrance with history, laws, statutes, commandments to our brothers and sisters. For us to know who we are as a people. We ain't no blasted African.
That's right.
You understand? No African in them don't know who he is. Nobody never, as the officer said, no African never sent here for none of the brothers and sisters. If we were so-called African. You understand? We are part of the 12 lost tribes of the nation of Israel. We are God's chosen people. You understand? And we're in this position right now because we fell away from the Most High laws, commandments, and statutes by our religious leaders not teaching us what we're supposed to follow as a people. You understand? Our religious leaders are lost. They are blind. You understand? You have the 35 and 1? Go ahead.
The book of Exodus, chapter 35 and verse 1. And Moses gathered all the congregation of the children of Israel together and said unto them, These are the words which the Lord had commanded.
Right? So Moses gathered all the children of Israel together because, of course, when we read back verse 34, right, we know the children of Israel went astray because they found like Moses was staying up in the mount too long. You understand? So they're saying, well, boy, like Moses dead or something happened to you of this, so they started to do their own thing. You understand? They're saying that he might have died or some beast take him up there, whatever the case might be. You understand? They started doing their own thing and Moses come down, right? And what happened when he started to see the madness taking place, the golden calf and all these things, he smashed the 2 tablets of stone and Moses now coming back and reiterate, hey, this is what I want all you to do. Again, you understand? Because Moses had to go back up into the mount where he had to drop the 2 new tables of stone and go back up in the mount to get the commandments again, right? So go ahead.
These are the words which the Lord commanded that ye should do them. Right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 2. 6 days shall work be done.
You understand? So Moses reiterating it to us again. Because of course, we all know that Israel is a stiff-necked and rebellious people. You understand? Moses just talked to God. He always see God with all the lightnings and thunderings and all these different things. And when Moses going up in the mount, all they going to start to do all their own thing already. So he come back and he reiterate it again. You understand? Moses is letting us know that 6 days, your labor, your work is to be done. Because when Moses go up in the mount, of course the Israelites being stiff-necked and rebellious, go be saying, hey, I want you to work and go and do this for me. I want you to work for me tonight. I want you to go and do this for me today. You understand what I'm saying here? Go ahead.
But on the 7th day, there shall be to you.
But the 7th day what?
There shall be to you an holy day, a Sabbath of rest,
right,
to the Lord.
Right.
Whosoever doeth work.
Whosoever what?
Doeth work. Therein shall be put to death.
Whosoever do work therein shall be put to death. Remember that, right? I want you to remember. Whosoever doeth work shall be put to death. Take that into consideration. You understand? Go to verse 3.
Verse 3. Ye shall kindle no fire.
You shall do what?
Kindle no fire.
You understand? And this here is the verse that makes everybody start to go mad. You understand? You should kindle no fire. Go ahead.
Throughout your habitation.
Throughout what?
Your habitation upon the Sabbath day.
You understand? There is the scripture that comes everybody because the start, you shouldn't kindle no fire throughout the Sabbath day. So don't cook no food. Don't turn on the stove. Don't put on no lights because lights is fire. Don't start a car because that igniting a fire and all these different things. You understand? So of course, if you have to make tea for your baby, if you have a newborn baby and you have to make bottled tea for she, you have to make that put that on 2,000 degrees and hope it stay hot for when Sabbath day reach. You understand what I'm saying? To give your child some hot tea, to give baby a nice warm little bath. You understand? Again, if you have people sick in your house, old folks that might have to drink a little hot tea when the morning come, you can't do that. You have to just drop everything. Don't kindle no fire. Don't do no work. Leave them let them die. Right? That is what Christians will say. Right. That is what fake groups will say and all these different things because they don't understand that when they talk about labor and work, talking about your employment, your slavery. You understand? Go ahead.
And Moses spake unto all the congregation of the children of Israel,
right, saying,
This is the thing which the Lord commanded, saying, that take ye.
All right, but that going into the offerings and stuff like that. You understand? Right. But again, they say, kindle no fire. You understand? Verse 3, you shall kindle no fire throughout your habitation on the Sabbath day. You understand? But again, you must understand who this, when they say kindle no fire, you must understand who it applies to. You understand? And of course, it applies to Israelites. But you have to remember that when we talk about before is work and labor. Because back then, to kindle a fire, you understand, in the nation of Israel, someone was paid to do that. Because remember, you have to gather wood, you have to set up the fire, you have to get a flame, you have to make all them different things before the fire starts. And it wasn't guaranteed that the fire will start when the person set it up. You understand? All that is work. Israel used to pay people to do these different tasks. Right? Right? So again, this is for the employers back then. Because remember, since we reading them from before, we're talking about work, we're talking about employment, we're talking about labor. You understand? Some people will understand that. You understand? And when they see kindle no fire, it sound good. And forget all we read before. And if you don't know all what we read before, well, of course, it goes sound good. And you go start eating cold food, and cold porridge, and cold soup. You understand what I'm saying? Just imagine you make a oxtail soup and put it in the fridge. And it's Sabbath day, you're going to eat that cold. Come on, man. Nah, it just that is madness. You're abusing yourself there. You understand what I'm saying? You're abusing yourself. You understand? Right? So, give me Numbers chapter 15 and verse 29. Numbers chapter 15 and verse 29. You understand? It's important that we understand these words. It's important that we understand servants, maid servants, man servants. What was their duty? You understand? Numbers chapter 15 and verse 29.
Numbers chapter 15 and verse 29. You shall have one law for him.
You should do what?
You shall have one law for him that sinneth through ignorance. Both for him that is born among the children of Israel.
Right? You should have one law for him. Right? So there must be one law throughout Israel. Right? One law for who? Take it over from you. Numbers 15 and 29.
Numbers 15.
Mm-hmm.
15 and
29.
29.
Yeah.
The book of Numbers, chapter 15 and verse 29.
Mm-hmm.
Ye shall have one law for him that sinneth.
You understand? So go ahead.
Through ignorance,
Mm-hmm.
both for him that is born among the children of Israel,
You understand? Go ahead.
and for the stranger that sojourneth among them.
Right? So there must be one law throughout Israel. The law wasn't for a section of Israel or for a section of or a certain tribe, whatever the case might be. The law wasn't like that. The law was for throughout Israel. You understand? And this law even applies for the stranger that come into your gates. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 30.
Mm-hmm.
But the soul that doeth aught presumptuously,
But the soul that do it what?
ought presumptuously,
Remember that word presumptuously. Go ahead.
which he be born in the land,
Mm-hmm.
or a stranger, the same reproach the Lord, and that soul shall be cut off from among the people.
You understand? And that soul shall be cut off from among the people. So again, verse 30, right? But the soul that doeth aught presumptuously, remember that word, anybody could look up that word presumptuously, I will check for it myself too, right? Whether he be born in the land or a stranger, the same reproach of the Lord, and that soul may be cut off from among the people, right? So look up the word presumptuously. Let me see if I see it here as well too, right? Right? So presumptuously, right? A person who is presumptuous shows little respect for others by doing things they have no right to do. Right? So keep that in mind. Right? Presumptuously. Right? That is what you want to do on your own. Right? That's what you want to do that feels good. You want to do your own thing, right? So go ahead, verse 30. Take it from the top again, verse 30.
The book of Numbers, chapter 15 and verse 30.
Mm-hmm.
But the soul that doeth aught presumptuously,
Yeah.
whether he be born in the land,
Whether he be born in the land, go
or a
ahead.
stranger,
Or he's a stranger, go ahead.
the same reproach
Mm-hmm.
the Lord, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people.
Right? So the word presumptuously, it's setting the tone again for we to understand a little bit more about the Sabbath day, right? Go ahead to verse 32.
Verse 32.
Mm-hmm.
Because he despised the word of the Lord.
Because he what?
Despised the word of the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
and had broken his commandment.
Right?
That soul shall utterly be cut off.
Like verse 31. Jump to verse 32.
Verse 32.
Mm-hmm.
And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness,
Right? So why the children of Israel were in the wilderness? Go ahead.
they found a man.
They do what?
They found a man
Mm-hmm.
that gathered sticks.
He did what?
Gathered sticks
Mm-hmm.
upon the Sabbath
So he
day.
gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day. Right? So they found a man who gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day. You understand? And the people brought him in because he was picking up sticks, right? So keep in mind, labor, work, employment, maid servant, all these things we went over before. Go ahead.
And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron,
Mm-hmm.
and unto all the congregation.
And unto who?
All the congregation.
Mm-hmm.
And they put him inward.
And they do what?
Put him inward.
So they put him in a cell. Go ahead.
Because it was not declared what should be done to him.
You understand? Because they didn't know what to do with him yet. All right? Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Moses.
And the what?
And the Lord said unto Moses,
Mm-hmm.
the man shall be surely put to death.
The man shall be what?
Surely put to death.
You understand? So the Lord saying unto Moses, the man shall be surely put to death. Why? Go ahead.
And all the congregation stoned him
Mm-hmm.
with stones without the camp.
You understand? So all the congregations stoned him with stones. You understand? But the Lord said he shall be put to death. Why? Because this was his job. You understand what I'm saying? He was doing presumptuous. He didn't care what the Moses and the elders had said, and the Moses had said. He didn't care. You understand? He wanted to do his own thing. He know that he's not supposed to be doing that, doing his job on the Sabbath day, but he did business. Just like what our Israelites today in business. You understand? Some people hear the word of the Most High through the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? And they will still continue going and do what it is they're supposed to do. They're in business. But in this instance here, the man know that picking up his sticks was his job. He was being presumptuous. He knew what he was supposed to do. He knew what is right. What is the word presumptuous again? A person who is presumptuous shows little respect for others by doing things they have no right to do. So he was doing something that he had no right to do. You understand? He had showed little respect to brothers and sisters. You understand? And the elders that was before him. You understand what I'm showing you? And the Most High say what? And the Lord said unto Moses, the man shall be surely put to death. Why? Because of Exodus 35 and verse 2. Somebody hit me Exodus 35 and verse 2 again. This is why the Most High say he should be put to death. You understand? The Christian church will make you feel, well, he was picking up sticks and he just get put to death. You understand what I'm showing you?
Exodus chapter 35 and verse 2. 6 days shall work be done.
Right.
But on the 7th day there shall be to you an holy day.
There shall be to you what?
An holy day.
Yeah. A separate day. So 6 days you do your normal work, your employment, your labor. Go ahead.
A Sabbath of rest.
A Sabbath of what?
Sabbath of rest to the Lord. Whosoever doeth work therein.
Whosoever doeth there, work with the wherein, just like the man who was picking up sticks, who was being presumptuous, go ahead.
Shall be put to death.
Shall be what?
Shall be put to death.
You understand? And in verse 35 in the book of Numbers here, right, 15 and 35, it's saying, and the Lord said unto Moses, the man shall be surely put to death, because he continued doing his work. He know what was right. He know he's not supposed to be doing his work on the Sabbath day, his employment, because the Most High say, that day is for you to rest. So he was put to death. You understand what I'm saying? Give me Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 13. Because this is what Christians used to say, right? You're doing your own pleasure. You're not supposed to do no work. You're not supposed to do your own pleasure on the Sabbath day. You understand? When they read it straight, they go sound good. When they read it straight, Isaiah 58 and 13, it will sound good. But when you really try to understand what it's saying, you go understand that it's not talking about you can't put on the TV, you can't watch a movie, you can't play with your children, you can't make tea for your little babies, your little sons and your little daughters. You understand what I'm saying? You can't, when Christians like to say, you can't read. If you can't do your own pleasure on the Sabbath day, right? Give me 58 and 13, right? Yeah. If you can't do your own pleasure on the Sabbath day, then you can't go and read the scriptures.
Right.
Because that's your own pleasure. But that's our own pleasure. You understand what I'm saying? Because on the Sabbath day, we go sit down, we go read the scriptures, we might discuss some. You understand what I'm saying?
Book of Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath.
If thou do what?
Turn away thy foot from the Sabbath. From the doing thy pleasure.
From doing what?
Doing thy pleasure on my holy day.
Right.
And call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord, honorable, and shall honor him not, doing thine own way, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words. Verse 14.
Now, in my verse 13 again, Salakia, sorry about that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30, chapter
15 and verse
13.
Yeah. 15
if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath.
Right, so if you turn away for your foot from the Sabbath, go ahead.
From doing thy pleasure on my holy day.
Right.
And call the Sabbath a delight.
Right, and call it a delight, meaning that you turn away foot from the Sabbath and you're going to the mall, or you go for ice cream, you play with the kids. You understand? Go ahead.
The holy of the Lord, honorable. Go right?
Yeah, right.
And shall honor him, not doing thine own ways.
You understand? And shall honor him, not doing thy own ways, meaning, right? You don't want to, you're not doing your own ways, you're not watching TV, you're honoring him by not watching TV, you ain't going to a Sabbath class, you understand? You ain't doing your own pleasure, you understand? Go ahead.
Nor finding thine own pleasure.
Nor finding thy own pleasure, go ahead.
Nor speaking thine own words.
You're speaking thy own words, so you're not finding your own pleasure, you're not speaking your own words, so which means, like we Christians like to say, you can't talk about, well, if you can't talk your own words, I mean you can't talk about the Bible. You understand? You can't talk about some movie you watched last night with your brothers. You understand what I'm saying? Because saying you're talking your own words, right? Give me from the top. Isaiah 58 and 1. Right? So we understand what that's talking about.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud.
Do what?
Cry aloud. Spare not. Lift up thy voice.
Go ahead.
Like a trumpet. And show my people their transgression.
You understand? So what is that transgression? Isaiah 58 and 1. What is that transgression? Transgression is a violation. You understand? So Isaiah is letting his people know that something they're doing wrong. They're violating something. They're doing something wrong. You understand? Something with the laws of the Most High they're doing wrong. So you're going to cry aloud, spare not. You're going to lift up your voice and show you people what they're doing wrong. Right? Go ahead.
And the house of Jacob, their sins.
And of course, sin is the transgression of the law. Go ahead.
Yet they seek me daily.
Yet they do what?
Seek me daily.
You understand? Yet they seek the Most High daily. We want to worship the Most High. You understand? We in the Christian church, we in the Muslim mosque, we all over all these religions. You understand? We seeking the Most High daily. We want to know who is the Most High. Go ahead.
And delight to know my ways.
You understand? And they have the delight. They want to know the Most High ways. You understand? Even if they're sinning, they still want to know the Most High ways. Because they know they're sinning. Right? Go ahead.
As a nation.
As a what?
As a nation that did righteousness.
You understand? And as a nation, they delight to know the Most High like if they was righteous. You understand? Go ahead.
And forsook not the ordinances.
And do what?
And forsook not the ordinances of their God.
And forsook not the ordinances of their God. You understand? And let me see. When you look up the word forsook, it means abandon or leave. Renounce or give up. You understand? So they abandon and leave the laws of the Most High. They give up the laws of the Most High. You understand? Go ahead.
The acts of me.
The acts what?
The acts of me. The ordinances of justice.
The acts of me, the ordinances of justice. You understand? The acts, what is the things that the Most High want us to do? You understand? What is the judgment? What is the statutes? Go ahead.
They take delight in approaching to God.
They take what?
Delight in approaching to God.
They take delight in approaching to God. No different from the Christians that run up in the Christian church. They take delight in going to approaching to God. The things that the Most High want them to do. You understand what I'm showing you? But of course, the Christian church is not showing them that, right? What they're supposed to do with the Most High. Go ahead.
Wherefore, we are fasted.
Wherefore what?
We are fasted. Say they, and thus seest not.
You understand? So now they're saying, we're serving God, they're fasting, but what wrong? You understand? Because the Most High not seeing it, the Most High not acknowledging it. You understand? Go ahead.
Wherefore, we have afflicted our soul.
Wherefore what?
We have afflicted our soul.
Wherefore we have afflicted our souls. Go ahead.
And thou takest no knowledge.
They do what?
Takest no knowledge. Behold, in the day of your fast.
In the day of what?
Your fast. You find pleasure.
You find what?
Pleasure.
You find what?
Pleasure.
Remember that. Keep that in mind. Go ahead.
And exact all your labors.
And do what?
And exact all your labors.
What do you mean by exact all your labors? Anybody? If anybody know.
Like if you didn't like exact like try to finish it up, like finish where you're doing.
Exact all your labors. Exact. You understand? Of course, you must go back into the Hebrew to understand. That is why we do the Hebrew classes on a Friday. You understand what I'm showing you? That is why we have brothers and sisters that break down the Hebrew for us to understand. When I say exact all your labors, it just means exact meaning oppress. And labors meaning workers. They exact all your labors. They oppress all your labors. So again, when you go back up to the verse and you read what they say, you understand, in your fast, you find your pleasures and oppress your workers. That was the pleasure that they was doing on the Sabbath day. You understand? That was the transgression they was doing. So now, jump to verse 13.
Verse 13. If thou turn away thy foot.
If thou do what?
Turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure.
So if you turn away your foot from the Sabbath, from doing your own pleasures, and we just read what he was doing, oppressing the workers, go ahead.
On my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy day, the holy of the Lord.
You understand? So when Christians say you're turning your foot away from the Sabbath, they don't understand that when you go up in context of reading, that your own was when they say extracting your own labors, they was oppressing the own people. You understand? That had nothing to do with you in eating on the Sabbath, they ain't cooking nothing on the Sabbath, they ain't doing nothing like that. You understand what I'm saying? You was oppressing your own people in the context that they're talking about in Isaiah chapter 15.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So again, the Christian church, they ain't gonna make you know and understand these things. You understand? The Sabbath day, but again, we'll continue going in it next week, please, the Most High. Next week, Lord's willing, the Sabbath day, you could cook on the Sabbath day, you could go out on the Sabbath day, you could play with your kids, you can make things for your family to eat. You understand what I'm saying here? You cannot do no servile, no work for no labor, no, not a job. You understand what you're getting paid for? The Sabbath day is for you to rest. Of course, again, we're in our captivity. And if you're not sure, still, again, we do nothing in the I.S.U.P.K council. Call in to the school, to the classes, get a counsel. You understand? And they will know what to do from there. You understand? Give me the book of Mark chapter 2 and verse 27.
Book of Mark, chapter 2 and verse 27.
Right.
And he said unto them.
And he do what?
And he said unto them, the Sabbath was made for man.
And who said that unto them?
Christ.
Christ said that unto them. Christ said the Sabbath was made for man. Go ahead.
And not man for the Sabbath.
You understand? And not man for the Sabbath. The man wasn't made for the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made for man. The Sabbath was made for man to rest. Man was made to serve the Sabbath. The Sabbath was not something that will be grievous for you to follow. You understand what I'm saying? So when people say you can't cook, you can't eat, you can't make tea for your babies, you can't give the elderly medicine because all that is work, you don't understand what they're saying. You understand? And Christ come and let you know that the Sabbath was made for you. The Sabbath was made for you to rest. For you to come off of your job, your slavery. You understand what I'm saying? Because all we read when we read labors and employment and all these different things, that was just talking about work. And that work, again, is what you're getting paid for. What you're getting paid to do. You understand what I'm saying? If you was an employer and you had employees, you have to give them that rest. You take rest, give your employees rest. You understand? That day was made for them to rest. That day wasn't made for them to... The Sabbath, man wasn't made to serve the Sabbath, meaning that all these rules and stipulations in the Sabbath, of course not. You understand? The Sabbath was made for you to rest, to come off your labors. The Most I say again in the book of Exodus, remember that you were servants in the land of Egypt. You understand? So when you're keeping the servants, you must remember that you was a servant in the land of Egypt. When you're keeping the Sabbath and you say you can't light no fire, you can't do this, you can't do that, you not remember. You not remember that you was a servant. You remember where pastor tell you, and where elder tell you, and where deacon and all them deaconess and all them madness tell you. You understand? The Most High say, remember, he was a servant in the land of Egypt. The Sabbath was made for you to rest. Come off your slavery. You understand? Take some time off. Because he was a servant in Egypt under hard bondage. With that, I pass the class on to Preaching Officer Shah.
Security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of Gen.YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they have off limits for 6 months. They are here to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6 months period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. Means tenth in Hebrew, as pronounced as Maishara. 10% of every penny increase the Lord gives you to the church department or teacher, priest fund, free will offering for priest, non-mandatory. Whatever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation.
There is the Feast of First Fruits, June 5th. Yeah. Feast of First Fruits on 25th.
Feast of First Fruits, June the 5th. Reminder Aquapians and Aquapians to check on social media such as I.S.U.P.K, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on. I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he needs to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, like shirt, like pants, like headbands or scarf. Without you saying matter. South, face the east. When I say Lord, pray in Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabashemaya, Wadash, Aya, Shamka, Hawa, Waka, Tazaka, Aya, Aisha, Hawa, Aya, Bashemaya, Natan, Nanawam, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Asalakino, Wala, Tabanao, Isaiah 1, Abol, Oshino, Ayan, Rai, Aya, Abalakwa, Wataparat, Lai, Walamium, Aman.
In English, what you just said, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
Want to say the half cut? Yahweh, Hashem, Okasha, Latana, Akak, Larapa, Kalmakala, Wakal Marawan, Akak, Lata, Hatamazarium, Akak, Laha Kwayam, Ha Matatayam, Akak, Irakawat, Atamala, Agarashim, Bashim, Oshai,
What you just said in English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the leper, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh, thank you. So be it.
Lessons in Hebrew. Barak, Ata, Yahweh, Wayashai, Wamakayala, Wa Hayam, Matazabia, Alawapiahana, Alawapiam, Hasaranium, Hakwatazayam Yanyam, Hakwayalyam, Waha Watiam, Yahweh, Basham, Yahushai,
What we just said in English. Bless you, Yahweh. And Yahushai. And Michael. And the angel. Commanding General Yana. General. The captain. The officer. The troopers. And the sisters. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. We're going to say the prayer for the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, name of Yahushua. Listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, like prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the schools. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school, force their riches, to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the Edomites, and the nation, and their drug dealer, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, Skinheads, Fuzzy Komatazi, Gay Movement, Lesbian Movement, Spies, Workers of Witchcraft, NASA Space Program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Wall Street, open up the internet, and the airwaves, cable access channels, and the radio channel. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushua, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathen that come up against us as we speak thy words. Cause it to be known by all that is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you always. So be it.
Yahweh,
Hashem, Oshai, Barakanawa, Wayashala, Wahabayat, Sapariah, Barak, Rapa, Agan.
Commanding General YAHANNA. All the generals. Captains.
Officers.
Troopers. All 12
tribes of Israel.
Destroyed of
Israel.
I.S.U.P.K. throughout the world.
I.S.U.P.K. throughout the world.
I.S.U.P.K. Trinidad and Tobago.
I.S.U.P.K. Trinidad and Tobago.
I.T.S.H.A.
Tazapa. Yapa. Tamar. Commanding General Yana. General. Captain. The officer. The troopers. The sisters. The children. All the destroyed of Israel. Kailona. Shamka. Kailona. Barak Napash. Shariah. Kintian family. Osalan family. Dakota family. Philip family.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
All the generals.
Captain.
The officers. The troopers.
All the students. All the brothers and sisters fighting to come into the truth.
All the sisters. Shamka. Kaya. Yapa. Para. Commanding General YAHANNA. General. Captain. The officers. The troopers. The sisters. Children. Officer Galawan family. Officer Tazuan family. Officer Mariatan family. Officer Yakar family.
All brothers and sisters in the I.S.U.P.K.
All brothers and sisters in the I.S.U.P.K.
All brothers and sisters fighting to come to the truth.
All brothers and sisters fighting to come to the truth.
Francois family. Brown family. Zion. Daniela. Wesleyan. Jamilia. Ashila. Angel. Chantel. Trisha. Nima. Khadijah. Basham. Yahushai. Tawadaman.
what we just said in English, Lord, in the name of Yahushua, bless us, and Israel, and the school, bless, heal, shield, protect, love one, in the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
Let's get the teacher a warm cooking suit. Imagine Shabbat, Imagine Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barakatah.
Yadimata. Let's get the sisters online and warm cooking suit. Imagine Shabbat, Imagine Barak,
Yahweh Hashem Yahushai.
Yadimata. Class is missed.